Hey, and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for The Invisible City, or Invisible City Season 2. So before we jump into the review for Season 2, I wanted to recap really quickly what happened at the end, because it's been so long, and I imagine, like me, you're probably going, what happened again at the end? How are we picking this up? So basically, Eric sacrifices his own life, killing the dry body entity before the evil spirit can kill anyone else. In the final scene, Eric is mysteriously revived and the other entities carry him into the forest, and it's implied that he's going to become a full entity, but that's kind of where we are left off. So it's been over 2 years since we saw what happened there at the end, and this time round we only get 5 episodes, and they range from about 50 minutes to about 35 minutes. And it feels very quick in nature, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It also feels very concluded. I doubt we're ever going to get more from these characters unless they did a spin-off. But we're backed with the Brazilian folklore. And the thing I had an issue with in Season 1 was we have these 7 episodes, but it's very much drawn out in the drama. And I didn't mind that, but what I was intrigued by was the folklore of the Brazilian folklore of what we're being shown. That is where the story shines the most, the best. And so every time we got a little bit in Season 1, I was like, yes, but what else can they do? What else does that mean? Who else is there? And we saw a little bit of that, of some of our characters that were kind of I guess there's a hierarchy, especially in the folklore, and people who are trying to get into the Amazon to get gold. And this time round, there's an auction going on where you can get the path to get through, because it's protected by our folklore creatures, to get through and get your riches. And so there is this balance of the folklore creatures and the people who have become these entities to try and protect the Amazon, as well as trying to protect themselves and all what they represent, keeping the balance of living with humans as well as living with animals. And this time round, I'm happy to say that we get so much folklore. It's rife in every episode. Bang on. In episode 1, they show us kind of what you'll be expecting, and then every single episode is more folklore. But there is a lot of heart to the story. It's father and daughter. Once we get the father and daughter story, it seems to force them separately again, and they're trying to get back together again. That is the arc of the story. But in the meantime, the folklore, I guess, lore influences the story until we see almost every character have something of an ability or something that's being driven into them. And so when we see the entities manifested, I thought that was excellent. There is a particular moment when with the horse, I won't go more into that, where I just thought that was excellent, the way they showed that. So full of mystery, and makes you just want to go and learn more about the folklore. Now we get obviously Eric, who is one of the main protagonists, but is also his daughter. The thing that you might find a little bit difficult to wrap your head around is like, why does she look so different? It has been a couple of years, just over 2 years, and so she's grown up. I would say she's grown up a little bit more than 2 years from how I remember how little she was. Now she is like a young teen, and she has a story of her own. In fact, that has all been leading up to her story, which Season 1 was kind of all about. We didn't know that, but we do get the answers here in Season 2, which I like. There's a nice fruition of the arc. I think the score is great. It kind of puts you in the fantasy element. The cinematography is one of the things I loved about Season 1. Here they double down in the mystery sort of shots that you'll be getting. Very vibrant, using the Amazon and the color palettes, but also just that night shooting makes you feel like there's always something mysterious around every corner or in every person. You never know what a person's going to be until they reveal it. Then we get obviously the story that unravels itself, that has been dealing with it since Season 1, unraveling itself nicely in some of the characters that you didn't really know were, I guess, a part of the main arc until they're shown how far they go back into Season 1, which I thought was clever, and I didn't see it coming. You can guess what's gonna happen, but you also don't mind it because it feels like it's the correct way for the story to go. Very nice, satisfying ending. I didn't know if we were going to get a Season 2. I'm loving this Brazilian folklore storylines. I hope we get more of them. Thought it was really interesting. I thought the acting was good. giving the emotion when it was there, when it was needed. I didn't feel anything, so the emotion was there for the storylines, but I didn't really feel anything for those characters. If someone were to die, I was mostly on board because I was interested in the lore. Now, had we had more episodes, I probably would have had time to get emotionally invested again. It's very short and sharp. There are still some drawn out scenes in this season, but for the most part, the pacing is quick, and it's quick to get through because we just had that 5 episodes, and I'm so glad we've had that, because Netflix often cancels series before we get the conclusion of the story that we need. We were left on a massive cliffhanger. So thankfully, this time around, we get a conclusion to the story. I don't see there being any need for more, but we have a nice completed story now. So I would give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one. Congratulations.
I think it's a solid watch. Fun, not brilliant, but really interesting. Nice to see the use of CG and practical in our characters who are entities. That, for me, is the most enjoyable part. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below who is your favorite character. What else were you hoping to see? Do you think there should be more? Love to chat to you in the comments, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.